Divine Feminine, I just wanted to share this very important message with you at a very important turning point on the journey. And this may not resonate with you right now. It may be something that resonates with you down the road, just depending on where you're at on the journey. So just take it as it resonates. But for the Divine Feminine that has been going inward and releasing control and surrendering, you're coming to a turning point in the journey where you are truly creating your life from your divine feminine power. And what does this mean? This means that you are releasing the need to know. You are releasing the need to have to figure it out. And you are releasing the need of trying to acquire something in order to serve your ego and your ego's demands and needs for what it feels is lacking in your life. Because you are so trusting and so in alignment with your heart, you are now creating from your heart. So this journey is ultimately the journey of going from the egoic mind into the sacred heart. This is why the journey can often feel so tumultuous for so many and take you on cycles of ego death and dark night of the soul, releasing. A lot of pain and suffering has surfaced. A lot of transformation has occurred. A lot of alchemy has transpired on the level of consciousness. Ultimately, this journey is going from separation consciousness, which is rooted in the mind is rooted in duality, into oneness or unity consciousness, which is rooted in the sacred heart. And oftentimes it's a peeling away of layers and layers and layers of untruths, of misperceptions, and of limited beliefs of what we've believed about ourselves and of reality and of the world in general that need to be peeled away in order to make space to fully and truly come into your sacred heart, which is free of attachments, which is free of need and free of wants. And there's still desires there, but these desires bubble up from your inner essence. It's your soul speaking to you. It's the divine speaking to you. So your desires are no longer ego-driven. You're no longer reaching outside of yourself for something that you feel you need. Instead, there is a deep surrender that has occurred and is occurring within your heart and within the Divine Feminine Collective now. And this deep surrender is taking you beyond what the mind can know. So the masculine energy in us is very analytical and very much needs to know, very much results driven. And the masculine energy is very tied to the egoic will because it is tied to the externalized world of form, which is what the masculine energy represents. The feminine energy represents our inner essence, our true divine essence, our creative life force energy. And by surrendering the need to know and surrendering the quote-unquote shoulds of what should be happening in your life or what should be transpiring and releasing that control, which is often a very scary process to release control and realize that there is a divine power orchestrating and animating this life and your being, and surrendering to that, surrendering the control. The last thing the ego wants to do is surrender control. But as you do this, you're able to move into your feminine sacred heart, which already knows. So there's a deep knowing inside of you right now, if you're resonating with this, that there are so many divine blessings in store for you and that are popping into your experience. And you've been experiencing miracles, small and big miracles, as you continue to be still and be open to receive at the level of the heart, and release the egoic will and let your heart guide the way. Your will is still there, but it's no longer driven by the ego. Now it is aligning with your divine will, your higher power. Okay? And so the masculine energy is very analytical and mental and very driven by results and rational thinking, where your feminine essence is intuitive. It is your inner knowing. It is your creative life force energy. And you are now transitioning to allowing this creative life force energy to drive the show. To allow the creative life force energy to bubble up within, and then let the actions that are taken be based off of your inner guidance, your inner knowing, your intuition, and your nudges. This is you aligning with your heart and your divine feminine power. And as you do this, if you're resonating with this, you've been experiencing miracles, both big and small. You've been experiencing instant manifestation. You've been experiencing always being in the right time at the right place. Synchronicity is through the roof, like intense synchronicities. Like you live in a sea of synchronicity. And if this isn't resonating with you yet, if you continue on this, what I call the journeyless journey, right? Because there is really no time and distance to be able to move from the egoic mind into your sacred heart, but yet there still is this life experience that plays out. So if you're not experiencing this yet, but you are in the process of surrendering to your heart and really going within and becoming still with all of it, with your fears, with your emotions that are coming up, with the attachments, with the codependency, with the feelings of unworthiness or lack or not being good enough, with the abandonment wounds that are triggered, with all of it. If you're willing to go through this and surrender to this process, and you find yourself currently maybe in a dark night of the soul or ego death, just know that part of the process is the crumbling away of the limited belief structures that have been guiding your life, that have been keeping you trapped, that have been repeating unwanted cycles in your life, and is very much necessary in order to build the life that is rooted in prosperity, abundance, love, and true power. Not power in the way that the externalized world would consider power. Not over masculinated power like what the world has known, but true divine feminine power, truth. Truth of who you are, truth of your worth, truth of your divinity, truth that you are the light and love, an extension of the divine, and truth that you can create whatever it is that is bubbling up within you as a true heartfelt desire, and that anything else in your way that has been telling you otherwise is a limited belief, and any other tendency or pattern or conditioning that has been keeping you trapped in unwanted cycles. I say unwanted because they are unwanted by the ego. They are unwanted by your personal self identity, but they are very much wanted on the soul level for your evolution and your growth, and for your journey into union with your feminine and masculine energy. So when you truly tap into your divine feminine power, you begin to realize the oneness in all things, because the same divine feminine power, the same essence that is within you, that animates you, is the same essence that animates all things. And this is true union. This is the union of your feminine and masculine energy. It is coming into harmony with the essence of who you truly are, and realizing that you are no longer a small, human, limited person in this world that has to protect itself from the world and has to fight its way through the world and has to figure out the best way to get through it and muscle through it, and a lot of stress and anxiety and resistance and control and all of those things. Instead, you wake up to the knowingness that you are a divine being and that you are in this world as an expression, but you are not of this world. You are beyond what the mind can perceive. And now the world takes on a whole new feeling to it. There's a whole new way of experiencing it, because you're no longer experiencing it from this limited self. Instead, you get to experience it from your expanded version of you, the you that cannot be touched, the you that does not have form, the you that was never born and will never die, the you that transcends all realities and dimensions and lifetimes, the essence of who you truly are. This is the journey that you're on. And if you're resonating with this recording, whenever you resonate with this recording, it's because you are fully stepping into your power as a creator. This is not about creating from your egoic will and creating from the needs and demands of what you think you're missing in your life. This is not about reciting affirmations until you finally believe them or something like that. This is not about wearing a crystal around your neck. You know, I love citrine. I have citrine as one of my favorite crystals, but this isn't about finding the right crystal. This isn't about reciting affirmations that you actually don't believe in, that really are only pushing your manifestations away. This isn't about relating to yourself as this person that lives in this world that needs to do X, Y, or Z in order to make things happen. This is about surrendering into the truth of who you are, the creative life force energy of that which you are. Surrendering the need to know, surrendering the attachments, releasing those, allowing yourself to be comfortable in the unknown, the not knowing, which opens you up to infinite possibilities and the unexpected, which is beyond what your mind could perceive. So this is about going beyond the collective agreement of separation consciousness and time and process even. the need that has to take a certain process to go from A to Z because you're collapsing time. You're experiencing instant manifestations, and if you're not yet and you're resonating with this, then you will be, because you're collapsing time and you're coming into the place where you are already one with all of your desires, and so you're experiencing instant manifestations. And so this message is just to support on your journey and hopefully just shine a light on the need to know, that need to know that still hides in the background of your mind and bubbles up from time to time. That need to know, just recognize it. Recognize the need to know. Recognize the urge to try to figure it out. Recognize that unsettled energy that bubbles up as you do a free fall into life, and allow it to just be what it is and be still and open to receive what comes next. So when you recognize that unsettled energy that's bubbling up, that is the time to surrender even more into the trust and into the knowing that you already have in your heart. You know, and you can feel that there are epic things in store, and that abundance is beginning to show itself to you in miraculous ways, and you can't quite figure it out yet, and you don't quite know what it is, but your mind is trying to figure it out, and you can recognize that and become aware that your mind is trying to figure it out, and allow that to be the gateway that takes you deeper into yourself. Return home. Return home to yourself. Return home to your heart. Return home to presence. Come home to yourself. Allow yourself to be still, to be open, and to receive the divine blessings as they make their way into your experience. If you would like support on your journey and you're ready to fully claim your divine sovereignty as a divinely worthy woman, I invite you to check out Embody the Empress, which is my divine feminine monthly immersion. You can check out all the details in the caption below this video. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.